Next, let's understand how can we create a dive here. I have already created one dive like this. You can see it's a simple dashboard. But when you open this dashboard, the data is automatically refreshed from the database. And you can also refresh clicking on this. Whenever you create any kind of dashboard using the dive, a version will be maintained like this. And you can also share it. You can see the code as well. As I mentioned before, the code is React. It's all React code. Again, interesting one. We can see the code itself. Let me create a dive now here and use it. I can do the same thing in the even in the web version. So I will go there, click on settings, connectors, and connect. Okay, successfully connected. Fine. As the integration has worked, you can create a dive. So I will just go to my MotherDuck account here. And let's see which table we can use. Sample data. Let's see sample data. So in the sample data, we have something called Stack Overflow Survey. Let's create, okay? So we can simply say, create a dive in MotherDuck for, just mention the database and everything. Table in Stack Overflow Survey schema. I'm just trying to avoid spending too much tokens, so I will give the complete database schema details in sample database. Okay, this is very basic prompt which I am giving. Let me just open the survey result and see the data. So it has lots of data. Just want to see, do we have any time? But model is intelligent enough to understand what exactly it need, right? So we will say, and show me trends. Now I can also provide my brand guidelines. Let's see what it will do. So it will try to find the tools. Yeah. And then it will use the tools. So in MCP, everything work using the tools. Now it's asking me for permissions to list the columns. I will. Okay, I will click on always allow just to speed up the things. So it has identified that there is a year column, as we can see here at the end. Good, this looks like multiple years of Stack Overflow survey data. It has identified 614K rows. Let me check the year range. So it's checking the year range. It's 8 years of data. Now it will read the dive guide. So there's a dive guide created by MotherDuck creators, and it will pull a few trend queries. You can see the whole plan here. Okay, it's saying good, semicolon delimited, and good data. Excellent data. Okay, fine. Now it's creating a dive. Great thing about this is the whole code is generated by the AI model which you are using. In this case, we are using Sonnet. Of course, it performs better with the other models like Opus in case you have the paid account. But even if my experience is it will do a good job, We will see the type shortly. Now you can make this prompt more specific depending on your needs. What kind of visuals you want to see. It can be a bar graph, it can be a line chart, it can be histogram. You can mention whatever way you like. If you have a better understanding of the data, then obviously the dive will be better. Or you can go in multiple rounds. You can ask again, and it can even edit the type. You can see it's giving me the link as well. If you think worth flagging from data, it's also highlighting that Python usage here nearly doubled. TypeScript grew the fastest, obviously, we all know that. And then median corps grow from 56K to 67K and peaking at 75K in 2023. So it has mentioned the main trends. I will click here. And it will open my profile, my account. I think it's a decent job, right? Let me ask now the model to make some changes. So what we are going to do, we will just say uh, apply a slicer for year. Okay. Apply a slicer for year, not for year, my bad. In dive. And what else we can do? That's fine. And also apply branding guidelines. Okay. So every company has certain branding guidelines regarding how they want or report or dashboard to look like. Claude, create a branding guidelines for a market research company called research team that works in UK. Everything will be taken care in the branding guidelines, right? Great. So it has created this document now. And this is the brand guidelines. Look like quite elaborate. Voice and tone, logo, color palette, just like a typical company, how it operates. Okay, let me download. Here it is. As test. Now it will create another version. Okay. Now I can delete. I have all flexibility. We will quickly see what all tools the MotherDuck team is going to expose that is being used by the model, Claude model, that is Sonnet. So it's loading the skills and then it's reading the guidelines document as we have instructed. And I'm sure it will change everything now. Now it's checking the tools again, what all tools it can use to update dive full rewrite. Then it's loading the six. Some format you cannot open, of course, because of their type. And just see, it's creating now the React code for the dashboard. Now, when I say dashboard report, I mean the same thing with respect to MotherDuck. And now it's updating the dive as well. So it will call update dive using the ID, and then it will publish. Done. Let's see the there has been some change. If I go to V1, let me show you the slicer. It will work. Okay. Data is changing, as you can see. All yes. Fine. If you give your prompt in a better way, and if you use the latest models like Opus ones, it will do a great job for sure. I have used the brand guideline. It has created a different dashboard at time. But today, I think, as I didn't mention much in the prompt, it has created a very basic branding guidelines tool that is more focused on the typography and all. But so it seems like it has created some kind of generic, but it's fine. I can say here the data, and these dashboards are of great quality. So if you make your prompt better, give clear instruction, they can generate any kind of graph. And it will keep on creating different versions as well. And then you can change it. Like I can say ready for use, marked as ready. I can even endorse, and I can even archive when I no longer need it. So great feature. And I can also share copy the link, copy the presentation link. Okay. So if I just go there and see, it will again open that in the browser now. And this is much better for a report because there's no distraction. Okay, great. So you can see all dives here. Previous one is in draft. Next one we have just moved it to ready. And of course, you can remix this dive when you want to change anything. You can add it a description. You can open in presentation mode like this, which we have already seen. And moreover, you can also copy content, delete type. So whatever you can do here, that is all possible using the MCP protocol. And the reason is there are tools involved. So if I go to the MCP server here, this is the documentation provided by the MotherDuck team. Now you can, with the help of a remote MCP server, your agent can execute read-only and read-write SQL against your databases. So we can even run queries. It can explode, it can attach or detach shares, it can create and manage dives, we have already seen. And it can even create, schedule, run, and monitor flights, which is nothing but the Python, any kind of ETL logic if you want to create using Python. And then each dive has certain tools. So always look into the tools provided by any company or the database in this case, because that will give you an idea, understanding the context, what exactly the model will invoke. So when it needs to delete a dive, it will call this delete dive. It has even dive guide, how to create the dive. It can be very specific. Show over the past 90 days. Then list drives, read drive, save drive, share drive data, update drive, view drive. All right.